Joining us now is Douglas Mackey. Douglas, welcome to the program. Douglas, we have your back 100%. Douglas has been sentenced to federal prison. The judge denied bond and then went to the Second Circuit Court and won bond. So you are kind of in limbo right now. What is Douglas Mackey's crime? Making a meme. Douglas, tell us your story.
Yeah, Charlie, thanks for having me. Well, the funny part is I didn't even make the meme. I actually just shared it on Twitter. It was a meme that was floating around the internet for months, and the government admitted as such a trial. So, yeah, I was arrested 7 days after Biden was inaugurated. It was really unbelievable. And then it's been a 3.5 year roller coaster. We went to trial last year in 2023. They couldn't even find a single person that was tricked by this meme because, for those that don't know, the meme said you can text your vote to Hillary. There it is. Text your vote, avoid the line. And it's absurd on its face if you look at it, but the DOJ didn't think so, and the Eastern District Court didn't think so.
Yeah, so let's just kind of take a step back here. Douglas, what kind of treatment could conservative meme makers expect from a Kamala administration? Remember, she prosecuted the pro-life activists who taped the Planned Parenthood representatives. So you are like the beginning of the lawfare crusade. Tell us more.
Exactly. This is the canary in the coal mine. They were planning on using this statute, which they went after me with, a KKK statute, for conspiring to threaten, intimidate, injure, or oppress people in their exercise of their rights. So they've been white papering this. They've been planning this for years. My case was a canary in the coal mine. It used to be, well, if they don't like you, they deplatform you, they dox you, whatever they do. Now it's, all right, we're going to sort of dig through the federal code and see if we can apply one of these old statutes, dust off the books, to throw conservatives in prison. And this is just the beginning. Now they want to make illegal these sort of deep fake AI videos that are obviously parody. They're obviously satirical. So this is just the beginning. And you're absolutely right. If Kamala gets elected, I would only expect it to accelerate this sort of madness.
And you really have been patient zero. So walk through the elements of your trial. Why was you put up a simple First Amendment defense? What law did they use against you? What was your crime? What in the federal code could you have possibly broken?
Right. So exactly. So I was accused of conspiring against the rights of American people, injuring, oppressing, intimidating, or threatening them in the exercise of their civil rights. So they said, if you share a meme that's obviously joking and you do it with 2 or more people, then that's a conspiracy to injure people in the exercise of their civil rights. It's really a torturing of the statute and the letter of the law and the spirit of the law, I would say, too, because we were supposed to have the First Amendment, but we challenged this prosecution. Well, let's go back to the trial. First of all, the jury in Eastern District of New York, which is Brooklyn, took 3.5 days to deliberate. They were deadlocked twice. But in federal court, they have something called an Allen charge, where the judge says to the jury, well, we spent a lot of resources, we spent a lot of time. You should go back there and try really hard and see if you can get a verdict. And you see them, they're squirming around in their seats. They're looking like they're the ones that are on trial. So after that, Friday afternoon, right after lunch, they came out with a verdict. I can't say I blame them. They probably wanted to get home to their families. But it was absurd. The government didn't find a single person that was tricked by this meme. They couldn't find a single person. They tried. We know because we saw it in the discovery. They went knocking on people's doors in the Eastern District. Did you see this meme? Did you text this number? And people either said no, or they said, I don't remember, or they said, and then they would say, do you think this is a legitimate way to vote? Or did you think so back in 2016? And everybody said, no, of course not. I'm not an idiot. That's what they said to the FBI. That's in the discovery in my case. And then they brought in all these people who I never met on the internet, who maybe retweeted each other or replied or whatever, quote tweet each other's tweets and say, these are your co-conspirators. You guys were conspiring to injure Americans in the exercise of their vote. They dug up all of these direct messages. And what was most offensive, perhaps, was that they used other memes as evidence. For example, the draft our daughters meme, which poked fun at the fact that Hillary Clinton wanted to force women to register for the draft. So we made a meme campaign about it. And they said, well, here's the evidence that he's part of this group. They do memes. So they must have been in cahoots to do this election meme, which was just found off 4chan. And I didn't even create it. I had no idea who created it. And they dug up all these DMs and said, you're guilty of conspiracy. Took the jury 4 days in one of the deepest blue parts of the country.
So Christina Wong tweeted almost the exact same thing. This is a woman back in 2016. She said, hey, Trump supporters, skip the lines on election 2016. Text in your vote. Text votes are legit, or vote tomorrow on Super Wednesday. Now, mind you, you did not say any of those things at all. She was being very, has she been arrested or investigated by the Department of Justice?
Well, there's no word from the DOJ whether they subpoenaed all of her cell phone records, all of her bank accounts, all of her credit card accounts, all of her paychecks going back years, whether they interviewed her roommate, her old roommate, and the list goes on and on. This is what happened to me. Whether they dug through her email accounts for sharing a joke on the internet. This is what you think. You think you have a Fourth Amendment right to privacy in this country? Something tells me, Charlie, that they didn't do that to Christina Wong. I'm not sure what tells me that, but I just have an inkling.
So what is the path forward for you now that you have been sentenced to 7 months in federal prison for making a meme? I hope the audience understands this, that under Kamala Harris, because she's really calling the shots right now, especially with the Department of Justice, they want to make it illegal to make jokes, illegal to be able to speak your mind. So you face a 7 months federal prison sentence. What is your path forward right now?
A federal felony, by the way. Absolutely. So we have a really strong legal appeal, and I'll tell you all about it. Let me just say first, we need funds, memedefensefund.com. Everybody go and donate, and we could win this appeal. And it's not just about me and keeping me out of federal prison. This actually has implications for everybody, because we're challenging the application of the statute, saying that you can't apply this statute to what they call disinformation, to what a normal person would say is satire or parody, obviously, but they call it disinformation. We're saying that they cannot apply this KKK statute to simple memes that are published on the internet, especially parody. Not only that, but you have to have a reasonable expectation that you're breaking the law when you do something like this in order to actually be prosecuted for it. So who could think that they're going to apply this law to somebody sharing a meme online? And so this is why it's very important to help me fund this appeal. And the third appeal that we have is based on venue. They brought this case in the Eastern District of New York. There's no connection to the Eastern District of New York, except for they say, well, he sent the tweet out, and the tweet went over the wire, over the bridge, over the waters surrounding the Eastern District of New York. It's completely farcical and absurd. And venue is in the Constitution because the British used to take Americans and ship them over to London and put them into a star chamber on trial in front of, way away from their home, for sedition or conspiracy or whatever it was. So this is very important, that we can't have a precedent that says the Eastern District of New York can drag you into its courtroom, even if you live in Wyoming, California, wherever, just because a tweet went over a wire. So it's completely absurd. And those are the grounds for our appeal. And we're just waiting for the circuit court to make its decision.
So remind people, it is memedefensefund.com. And how are you holding up personally? This has been an awful trial for you to go through. And everyone in your audience, if you have made a joke online, they might come for you. If you made a Facebook post, they could knock on your door and arrest you and raid your home and your apartment. That is Kamala Harris. She is going to use the DOJ as the secret police, as the Red Guard, as the Stasi, to go after dissidents like Douglas Mackey. Douglas, how have you held up throughout this? And again, plug the website one more time.
A great question. It's memedefensefund.com. I'm holding up well, all things considered. It's been a roller coaster. There's been ups and downs. The trial was one of the most difficult things that I've ever gone through in my life. But fortunately, faith is number one. God is number one. I'm trying to stay strong in faith and walk with God and understand that God has a plan and God can make good come out of anything. So I'm keeping the faith. I'm keeping hope. And I'm also fortunate for all my family that's staying behind me, all my friends, and absolutely, yes, all the people praying for me and benefactors that are donating to this case. I'm grateful to all of them. So I'm very grateful and thankful, and I'm still standing. They haven't knocked me down yet.
Amen. Douglas Mackey, we have your back. Thanks so much.
Thank you.